Good afternoon, everyone. I want to take a moment to introduce an extraordinary gentleman. He owns 60 businesses, former NBA player turned entrepreneur, first African American to own TGI Fridays in the United States. I want to introduce to you Dr. George Tinsley.
Excuse me. Good afternoon. How are you? Good. It's my pleasure to be here with you today and to interact with you. And I want to make sure that you get what you've come here for, whatever that is, with respect to your learning, experience, motivation, or whatever that might be. So I want you, if you will, to commit to help me be able to relate and communicate to you. Does that work? I do these presentations all the time around the country, and in particular with young adults. My hope to make sure that I'm able to motivate, let you know that you can do anything that's within the framework of your mind. And if you believe you can do it, you can do it. If you don't believe you can do it, then you won't. If you let someone get inside your head and tell you you can't do something, then you're not going to be able to achieve. If you believe in yourself, and you continue to educate yourself, you continue to learn, you continue to venture out, then you will be able to accomplish your dreams, your hopes, whatever you decide you want to do. You believe that? Yes. Okay, good. So, I've got a formal presentation here that I will work for, start off with, but at any particular point I may stop and get into Q&A with you to make sure that I'm accomplishing my goal and also that we're accomplishing your goal. How many of you are in high school? Raise your hand high. Okay. How many of you are in college? Okay. How many of you are college graduates? Okay. How many of you are master's degrees? How many PhDs? All right. Okay. Good. And you see, my title, several people have called me doctor. It's an honorary PhD, okay? And in my mind, that's the same. Okay? Some people might say you didn't work as hard as I did. You didn't, have to go through all of but at 69, I've burnt my bridges, and not burnt my bridges, but I've traveled the road and got that education, okay? So, I'm a doctor, okay? All right. What you see up on the screen here is a photo that I'm beginning to use that means a whole lot. It may not mean a thing to you, but it means a whole lot. It depicts where I started and where I am today and where I'm going, because I'm not through yet, okay? So, and it doesn't really tell you the full story of where I began, but to me, it's symbol. It tells the story of where my life started to change, and that was when I learned that I could play a sport, and it wasn't necessarily basketball, but a sport that helped me build self-esteem in an area where there at the time there wasn't a lot of positive things going on. But once I stepped outside and started reaching success, then I began to notice that there were other people that looked like me, and talked like me, that were doing some good things. And the other side is a successful entrepreneur. And as I said, this particular photo I'm using to kind of delve into a number of different venues. One of those being the NBA guys that are playing or have played in the NBA and have left and have not necessarily transition well into their next phase. And so my goal is to prove to guys that you can do it, because we all, as professional athletes, you have that opportunity to experience success and all of the excitement and make a little money. Of course, I didn't make that much when I played, but these guys are making dollars and they're off the chart. And then it comes to the end. You get fired. You don't walk away from it. You get fired. You know, they say you get traded, or you get whatever the term they may use for it. You actually get fired, because anybody that the kind of money they're making, they'd still be out there playing, right? Even if they were on the bottom, this guy sitting on the bench making $2-3 million a year, you stay with it, right? Guys, you get fired. That's what happens. Let's go to the next slide, please. But I wanted to play that video to give you an opportunity to see and hear where I came from. And a lot of us, some of you may have some of those same experiences. A lot of the people that knew me at the time had no clue what I was going through. I kept it all inside. And I'm leaving here, going back to Louisville to our 50-year class reunion from graduating from high school this weekend, and they've asked me to be the guest speaker to talk about some of the things that went on in my as a testimony went on in my life, and I'm looking forward to doing it and seeing the surprise on the face of some of my good friends that really didn't know. As mentioned, when I was 7 months old, my mother decided to leave me with a babysitter, a lady that kept kids in the neighborhood, young babies in the neighborhood, and she went off to get a job in Cincinnati, Ohio, and she never came back. She left me with Miss Tinsley was her name. She was 65 years old. She had one leg. She couldn't read or write. She walked with a crutch, and we lived in a room that was 10 by 10. Not a room with a lot of utilities. There's no utilities. We had just that bed, all of her worldly belongings in a box, and we slept in the same bed until I was 13 years old. And as far as I was concerned, other kids in the neighborhood I felt were going through the same kinds of things. I don't know exactly what they were doing, but I knew what was happening to me. So I think that as I look back, that's where that hunger, that desire for success came from, because I saw what other people were doing in different situations. But that's where I started off. Now, when she, at 13, she got sick. She went into the hospital. I went to live with her son. He was married. He lived in one room, but he had a kitchenette, and he had just recently got married within the last couple of years. At that time, I was probably about 6'1". He worked at night at a pie factory called Bluebird Pies, and so he worked the night shift. So at night, I had to sleep in the bed with her. That didn't go over real well for her. Normally, here's a stranger crawling in the bed at night. There's a 6-footer with her, and they kept their marriage together anyway. But wow, nobody was really excited about that. Plus, I was growing and doing a lot of eating, and she was cooking for him, and she wouldn't allow me to eat until he got home and received his food. So that was part of that rough or tough situation that I was going through during that time. When Mama, Miss Tinsley, I call her Mama, when she got out of the hospital and came home, then is when we moved, were fortunate enough to move into a little bit bigger place, and that's where she passed away. That's when I really realized that I was adopted, or that I was not part of that family. Because I'd always known in the early days, if you were called George Tinsley, you were George Tinsley in the school system. they didn't get into birth certificates and all that in the black schools at the time. So I was called George Tinsley, and I didn't find out until later on that my real name was George Pennybaker, Pennebaker. That was a strange name. But I knew that at some point there, kids used to tease me with that particular name, but I didn't really pay that much attention to it. When in the 5th grade, segregation, integration came into play, and the black school closed down, and I was moved from the black school that I was attending to a white school, and we all had to take tests. Well, we took those tests, and I was given a sheet to take home to sign, and of course, remember, my mother, Miss Tinsley, could not read or write, so she just made an X on it. I signed her name, took it back, and next thing I knew, I was moved from the 5th grade back to the 4th grade. What's wrong with this picture? So, but at the time, with a lot of the black students that were moving from schools that weren't as progressive, that weren't on the same curve as far as learning, the teachers at the white school were not always excited about what was going on, and they couldn't change their curriculum, so they were moving us around. See, at that time, there was like the 4th and 5th grade, both the slow learners in the 5th grade and the fast learners in the 4th grade were in a combined class, and I didn't make that class. I went all the way back to the 4th grade class, as far as I was concerned. But my first big obstacle, other than the obstacle of being adopted, that first or second big obstacle was when I was in the 6th grade. The teacher there called me up one day, and her name was Miss Warren. You go to the next slide. Yeah. Her name was Miss Warren, and Miss Warren told me that she thought that I needed to quit school. She said, "You need to quit and get a job." Now, think about it. What kind of teacher would tell a student to just quit and go get a job? But in those days, a lot of that happened. A lot of kids would drop out in 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, and go get a job to help their families. Or because of this particular situation, I wasn't keeping up. I was a problem, and she made that statement. Well, when she did that, I kind of looked at her, smiled, and I went and sat back down. And deep down inside of me, I knew that I better get it together. So already I got put back from the 5th grade to 4th grade, right? Now they're telling me I need to quit school. Wow. Yeah, wow. So that was one of those moments in time that really challenged me to get mine together, and I couldn't wait to graduate from the 6th grade to 7th grade, because that's where junior high school started in those days. Started the 7th grade. So I went and graduated the 7th grade and the 8th grade, and I'd go back and see Miss Warren, and I'd say, "Miss Warren, I just passed to the 8th grade." I'd smile, I'd walk on, and go back and really apply myself. And during that time, I met another lady that you saw in the picture there. My 7th grade school teacher. Her name was Miss Howell. It is today, Miss Howell. And she was one of the first teachers that really took a liking and saw something in me and really got behind me and motivated me to really apply myself. And she cared about me. I could sense, feel that she actually cared about me after going through some of these other challenges. So that's where things started changing. I could pass to the 8th grade, the 9th grade. I started playing basketball, running track, and all these things. And so I went to the elite high school in the area called Mill High School in Louisville, and started playing sports there. I always went back again to see Miss Warren, and I said, "Miss Warren, I just passed the 10th grade." She would look at me like, "Well, she was about this tall also." So she would look at me like, okay. I kept that the next year and right on through high school. When I graduated, I got a scholarship to college. I went back and I said, Miss Moore, I just got a scholarship to college. So she never reeled me and just went back. And I did that right straight through, winning NCAA championships, traveling to Africa, playing basketball, making the 1968 Olympic trials team, getting drafted into the pros, making the Oak and Ivy, which is the highest honor that my college gave for student athletes, and numerous awards and things that came from building self-esteem, going to a small school like Kentucky Wesleyan, where we were a close-knit group. Winning that first championship certainly helped. During that time, I almost flunked out also, which was another obstacle. I got on academic probation because studying in college was a whole new experience. Those of you who haven't got to college, it's a whole new experience because nobody's telling you got to study. You got to get up and go to class. You got to do this and you got to do that. So that first year, I was just chilling. I was having fun with the rest of the guys. And some of the older athletes said, come on, let's go here. Okay, let's go. I'll get that later. Reading a book, studying, going to the library did not fit into the MO. So, at the end of the year, I had a 1.75. That ain't working. That ain't working. We had just won the NCAA championship, and I had an opportunity to start as a freshman on the team, and was, just all kinds of positive things surrounding that. Then I got on probation, So we went to Africa, teaching basketball, experiencing all of the things in Africa. This was during the time of the 60s, the mid-60s, when the Black Power movement first started. All of us, we were going to leave the United States and we were going back to Africa. We were headed back to Africa. We were protesting. And, Vietnam had just started, right? Well, after spending 2 months in Africa, I couldn't wait to get back to the United States. I couldn't wait to educate all those brothers about what kind of country we have here and how great things were. I couldn't wait to kiss the ground, because what I saw in Africa, what I experienced in Africa, was a lot worse than it is here for the Africans. So they had their problems also, bottom line. It was a tough situation there, but it was a great experience for me to have that opportunity to travel. And this is that poor little kid that grew up in which was called Smoketown, Louisville, Kentucky, that had not experienced much of anything until I got exposed. And that's what happens to all of us, and what will happen to you. That's why you've got to get out there and expand your horizon. Meet people. Network. Don't be afraid. Don't hold yourself back. Go out there and accept the challenges of what life has out there. There's always that opportunity to turn a negative into a positive. Okay? Your situation, present situation, doesn't determine your destination. You've determined that. You're the one that has to get up off your behind and go do something. We agree? Yes. And you can do it. Next slide, please. So I like to talk about obstacles, opportunities here, and talk about the Miss Warren story, because that was a story that a lot of people experience in different terms, and experienced in different times. As a student that was underachieving, that wasn't really performing and doing the best, had the capabilities inside, but just didn't feel good about it, and just joined in with that group that really didn't want to do anything. Because a lot of us sometimes, when you're smart and you're bright and you have things going for you, rather than stepping out there and taking on the challenge and stepping away from your comfort zone, you tend to stay back, hold yourself back by staying with the group, staying with those individuals that don't want to do anything. That's on you. to step out and get away from that. That's what I had to do. Because the guys in the hood, you know, they're ready to steal, ready to do all kinds of things that land you in jail. You know, and fortunately, I was just too scared. You know, I was scared. You know, I knew how when a guy was looking out after me, I could smell trouble. I knew when to go the other direction. You know, and stay away. And I'm proud that I did. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. I go back to some of my boys that well, not too many of them are still around today, but a lot of the boys that I used to hang out with, that were the tough guys, and had all the girls and all that. They were still under that tree that's down. Everybody knows where that tree is, right? That tree that's dying, and they're sitting there telling the story. I should have, I could have, I remember when. You don't want to be in that. You don't want to be in that boat. You want to take advantage of every opportunity that you have. Don't listen to these politicians, Trump and all of them talking about how bad the world is and how this person is doing this. Don't let that kind of stuff hold you back. Be positive. And you can be as successful as you want. Almost being asked to quit school, giving the commencement speech in my college as a distinguished graduate alumni of the school. That's what you want to do. There's not one of you in this room that can't do the same. In your own way, in your own field, whatever you want to do. All you have to do is believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it. If somebody had told me that I would be owning businesses, $1 million businesses, making more money than most of these guys playing professional basketball, there's no way I would believe it. No way. But you have to do it. You have to just go out and keep at it, keep at it. And in no way am I through today. You know, I'm still out there hustling. Let's see what we got on the next slide. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Here's another obstacle, that opportunity. Ernest knows a little bit about this one. Back in 1991, I'd opened my first restaurant. And that restaurant was, and I worked for KFC. Let me just back up a little bit. I worked for KFC for 8 years. I started off as a trainer. And I worked with the Colonel, the real Colonel. Yeah, the real Colonel. He was a good old boy. Small here, and a real pioneer. And I say, when I say good old boy, I don't say that in a negative term. That's just who he was. And he would tell me, if you look up to me, he said, "Boy, you're a fine specimen." True story. So that was my way of getting back to him. He signed the check. KFC did anyway. But I worked with the Colonel for 3 years, and I taught a basic management class. You know, that same guy that got kicked out of school, got pushed back to the 5th grade, from 5th to 4th grade. I taught basic management class. Didn't know a doggone thing about business, you know, but I learned on the job. You know, I learned as I was exposed to things. We're all capable of doing it. We're all capable of learning on the go, feeling, touching things. And so that's what happened. I went in after being a school teacher, after coaching basketball and doing those kinds of things. I decided that my career had to change because I wasn't making any money. School teachers don't make any money. You know, it's a nice job, but they weren't making any money. I'm making $5,000 a year. 55 a year, plus a few extra dollars coaching. You know, but it was a living. So, but I had to make a change. I just got married and wanted to advance, and so went to work with KFC, training instructor. Went out after that, became an operator, operating in Atlanta, ran 7 stores. I got promoted to 50 plus stores, and then got promoted back to corporate as a vice president. And I ran all KFC from Kentucky to Hawaii. That fall under my guidance, with a lot of people underneath me, of course. Now, I don't want to take advantage of it, but I take credit for all that. But did that for a number of years, and then became a franchise manager, which basically a vice president there, working with the franchisees. watching these guys make money, and I said, if they can do it, I can do it. You know, because I've been a trainer, I've been in operations and so forth, and there wasn't any other black operators out there, no other blacks that actually owned the franchise. And then along came Jesse Jackson in Operation Push, knocking on corporate America's doors and saying, you got to open up the doors and let us in. So an opportunity came available where corporate America would guarantee the financing. In other words, they would actually stand behind the note. Now, that's what the public saw. But behind the scenes, what was happening is the money was used to buy those franchises was going into bonus to those operators. So they were doubling back to themselves. That's the other side of the story. But the bottom line was they opened up the opportunity to let me in. So I had an opportunity to open my first restaurant in Auburndale, Florida, which was this restaurant right here. We opened up the very first year, did $1 million. And which was a high number because the average KFC was only doing about 650,000. So we opened, we were doing excellent. And in a little small town, Auburndale, 8,000 people, right? So we were ranked as one of the top KFCs in the United States for 10,000 and below. Exciting times. Along comes April of 1991. I get a call that says, Mr. Tinsley, your restaurant's on fire. That's April Fool, okay. Go back straight, way back down. Got another call, Mr. Tinsley, your restaurant's on fire. Uh-oh, something really behind this. So I got up, got dressed, and drove down to the restaurant, and lo and behold, it was 15 feet flames above the roof. It was on fire, it was burning down. $1 million restaurant. 45 employees that actually worked there. And it was a big economic engine in the community. So while I'm standing there, you know, crying, and not crying, literally crying, but crying in my mind and watching this restaurant burn down, traffic was all backed up, and I was just looking around. People were looking at me, you know, and so forth, and I saw these lunch trucks. You know, those lunch trucks that drive around. Saw this lunch truck that was in there. So, bing, you know, the hood came out at me. I said, okay, my customers can't come to me, right? So what can I do? I can build me a truck. Next slide, I can build me a truck. Put my warming cabinets in there, everything that I needed to put that KFC on wheels, right? And rather than waiting and to start building my restaurant now, started rebuilding my restaurant, but I had 2 other restaurants, one in Haines City, Florida, and one at Baseball Boardwalk. I went to those restaurants early that morning, cooked the chicken, put everything in there, got my cash, put in my little cash register, got my drinks. Before that now, I went out and I followed every one of those lunch trucks to see where they were going. True story. I found out where everyone was going to be. I loaded my truck up, I beat them to the punch. And in my truck, in this truck, it had a little horn that clucked like a chicken. Mr. Wilson, you know where the hood is, right? I'm driving, cars following behind me. You know, wanting to get some wings, hot wings, and so forth. But anyway, long story short, there's another one of these obstacles that turned into a big deal. We had the restaurant back open in 65 days. When it burned down, it was doing $1 million. When I reopened, I did $2 million. True story. $2 million. And it's still doing $2 million plus today. So that's 30 plus years in business, and that was 20 something. You do the math, 29 since this particular time when it burned down. Once again, an obstacle to an opportunity, because most people, $1 million business burns down. What do? All your brains out, give up, start drinking, start taking pills, you know, get under that tree, All of those things were choices that I could have made, but we made a different choice. We decided to let's keep this thing moving. And believe me, underlying what I'm talking about to you is not only George Tinsley, this is George Tinsley family and the rest of my team that support me in everything I do. The reason I'm here today, being able to be here today with you, and I've got 100+ cash registers out there running, is because I got good people that have been with me, several that have been with me 30 years. Let's see what we got next slide. Okay. This is a new presentation for me, y'all, so I got to see what's up there. The other obstacle, big obstacle that faced me, and just went through it again, is that I had an opportunity after being in business and having 12 KFCs, wanting to expand into the airport business because a buddy of mine had a restaurant over in Orlando. We're all right with time? We're all right with time? We're all right with time?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So I decided that I was going to go out to the Tampa airport and bid on a KFC out there. If any of you have been through the Tampa airport, you know where Airside C is, where you go out the tram. Well, that little food court right there was up for bid, and we had an opportunity to put a KFC there. So I went out, went through that whole process, being very naive, not understanding how the politics and everything plays into getting into airport business and how expensive it is to get into airport business. Bid on that TGI Friday, and KFC, I'm sorry, and we lost. We lost the bid. So after leaving, there was a little bar sitting on the corner called Veranda inside the airport, Veranda Lounge, if some of you remember back. So we stopped there, had a cold beer, and watched the O.J. Simpson chase. Remember that? The O.J. Simpson, that white Bronco driving through LA. We sat there, had a beer, watched O.J. trying to figure out what his, poor O.J. is going down here. So we just lost the bid, so we had some similarities there. We lost that, but we saw another location that was open and an opportunity, and so we decided to bid on that site. That site turned into the TGI Fridays. We bid on the site, we won, and we went out and I got the TGI Fridays franchise. This KFC location that I was bidding on, we projected it to probably do about $1.5 million. Well, this Friday we opened, it did $3 million the very first year. Then it did $4 million. Then it did $5 million. Then it did $6 million. Then it did $7 million. Then it did $8 million. And it did 8 to 8.5 for 9 straight years. We were the #1 TGI Fridays in the nation for 9 years in a row. So, once again, obstacle, right? Restaurant bid on the site, lose it, but you turn it into a positive by staying in there, hanging in there, going after your dream, and you come and walk away with something that turns into gold. And unfortunately, we'll be closing next year, 2016, in May, the end of our contract. We initially went out there with a 10-year contract, rolled into a 5-year option, then another 5-year option, which gave us 20 years, and so that's just coming true. I was talking to someone a little bit earlier today. We just went through this whole process. Some of you may have seen it in the newspaper where I think the headline said Tinsley walks away with nothing. That's not really the case. We did walk away with 12 more restaurants, so we'll be there for 10 more years for 12 more restaurants. With P.F. Chang's, with Starbucks, with Wendy's, and Payway, and a number of other concepts that we're looking to grow. We'll have more competition in there, but we're still hanging in there. We're still battling. Plus, we just picked up 5 restaurants up in Newark, New Jersey. Airport up there, 5 Starbucks. So all of that came after this bad situation that happened over here in the recent months. Let's see what we have next. Okay. Once again, this is one of my quotes, one of my sayings. Some of you, if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Facebook, the fan page. You can also follow me on LinkedIn, etc., where I post a lot of positive motivational messages from time to time. Every once in a while, I throw one of my ugly photos in there to give us some real world experience. But the bottom line You know, it's up to you. It's up to you to be and do whatever you want to. Don't be held back by anybody else's expectations of you, but only what you feel and what you're encouraged to do. Do not hesitate to extend yourself and meet people. You will never know who you're coming in contact with. Don't judge a book by the way that they look. Don't do that at all, because there's a lot of folks, influential people. And I'm not talking about people that are millionaires. I'm talking about people who are influential, who know somebody else, who knows somebody else, who knows somebody else. That's the way it works. You know, if I stand here and I talk to you, some of you in here, I guarantee you we have people that we know that are in common. And it opens up the door. It might be some opportunity that I want to get into, that I might be looking into. Just met a young lady outside the door early today. Told me about some business opportunities that are happening right here in St. Pete that we'll follow up on. You see? So that's the way it works. It's a give and take on both sides, all the way around. So that's my obstacles and opportunities. We're going to have a little time, I understand, so I want to open the floor up and answer some questions from you. Any of you have anything that you'd like to ask me? Yes?
Who did you play for?
Who did I play for? That's always the first question. I was drafted out of college to play with the Chicago Bulls. That was way before Michael Jordan. Way before Michael Jordan. That was even before Dr. J. But we had two leagues then. We had the NBA and we had the ABA. The ABA was got drafted by the Oakland Oaks, which is what I chose. The NBA you had to go and because they were the big boy on the block, they were an established team, a well-established team. You had to go to all these different camps. The ABA was offering no-cut dollars right up front, so I chose that. Got my $10,000 signing bonus, bought me a 1969 GTO, went back into the neighborhood, and it felt real good. But I had a 4-year career in the ABA with Kentucky, Miami, which is now the Miami Heat. It was the Miami Floridians at the time. I played with them and Kentucky Colonels, etc. So that's my athletic career.
I know you just mentioned family and the wife, but kids, and if so, are they following your footsteps?
Yes. My wife runs the administrative end of our business. My son, George II, we call him G2. He's Vice President of Operations. We have a battle every day on how to do this thing. He didn't have to go through those trials and tribulations I've gone through, so he sometimes doesn't understand how the skin of the game works, and you know, he drives a convertible Jaguar, and so he's got. I tell him he's going to have to go work in the restaurants a little bit longer to really get a good understanding. But he's a good kid. He's doing real well. As I say, just completed his math. He's involved in the business. My daughter was involved in the business also. She became sick lately, last couple of years, as MSA, multiple syndrome apathy, which is a severe case of Parkinson's disease. So she's not actively involved, but she does what she can. And we also have other family members that we've brought up through the business. I have numerous of other godchildren and so forth that started off working with us in our KFC that have gone, that do get involved. Employees that, sometimes I show the picture of employees that have gone on to be ministers, doctors, lawyers, and so forth, that came through and their first job was the KFC. And they understood it's not just the typical KFC. I don't know if anybody's ever been in the Armandale KFC, but it's not the typical KFC. We have all-you-can-eat buffet. We have a lobby hostess that keeps the lobby clean, keeps the restaurant clean. The store does $2 million, as I mentioned, and there's a reason for that. So it's not the average KFC.
What franchise opportunities are disabled, veteran-friendly, and also would you recommend withdrawing retirement investments for initial franchise investment, or pursue an angel investor for business relationship?
That's a loaded.
I have more questions.
Typically, I say, which one do you want me to answer first? No, seriously. All restaurants should be disabled friendly. And if you're talking about ownership-wise, and it should be equally from an ownership-wise. I don't know if any of the franchise brands are looking at that. But let me ask you a question this way. anybody interested in getting into franchising business, no matter what your background, no matter what you're doing, I would say look at your top brands. Look at the top brands. And those are the ones that you want to take a look at, those that have been around for some time. A lot of brands are being bought up by other brands, and so you want to be careful of that. But most of your top brands, your top 10, they have resources that are out there that can help you be successful. When our restaurant burned down, I'd already known about a truck, KFC having experimented with trucks that were actually going to fairs, going to different events on the outside and serving people there. So that was part of my mindset as I looked at that lunch truck to do that. So those resources that are those companies that have marketing, training, and that have other functions from the standpoint of point of sale equipment and so forth that are able to help you sustain what you're doing. Those are the ones I would say you take a look at. From the standpoint of investment, you only look for investors if you actually need them. If you need them, you're opening yourself up to a lot of things that you need to have a good lawyer and a good CPA to help you navigate through. Okay, so that's the other side. Most franchises, most brands are looking for you to have at least $1 million liquid. $1 million liquid to be able to get through the first 3 years of business, because things change, traffic changes, all kinds of scenarios happen, especially here in Florida, that you have to be prepared for. So franchising is a great business, because they have already gone through all of the trial and error of of different things that will work and won't work before they give them to the franchisee to use. The downside is most franchisors are going to require you to pay 8% off the top. 8% off the top for marketing and advertising and royalties off the top. So, but I think that it's still a good business, especially if you get a good location, because business is all about location, 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 location. If you don't have a good location, ingress and egress, you're certainly going to have some real challenges. Can you go back on this side? Yes, ma'am. Oh, you raised your hand for her? Oh, awful nice. Is that your sister?
That's my friend.
Your friend? Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, just ask.
Do you own any KFCs in the area?
No, I don't. That was an easy question.
My name is Alvin Gibbons. I'm doing half friends at Big High School. And I was wondering,
Congratulations.
maybe you should come visit our school and tell us your story.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to. I'll make sure I give you my information, get it to your school. I'd love to come and visit. That's what I do.
What motivates you most as a business owner?
To see happy customers. I'm one of those owners that likes to get out into the lobby and talk to the customers, follow up on their experiences, because it's a customer service, customer friendly business, and success, making money, So you can drive the sales, and you get it down to the bottom line to be able to take it to the bank. That's the name of the game. Get it going and back to the business.
What keeps you spiritually centered with all the obstacles that you went through? How did you stay spiritually centered in
Did you all hear that question? Said, how did I stay spiritually centered growing up? Well, let me tell you, that lady who raised me, that was 67, 65 years old, we had this little radio that sat right next to the bed. Anybody ever heard of Reverend Ike? Yeah, Reverend Ike took, and the prayer cloth and everything. She was extremely religious. She knew the Bible inside and out. And I wasn't able to go to church and Sunday school every Sunday. One, because I didn't have clothes to wear, etc. But I was really basically centered in the Lord and understanding the Word as a youth and growing up. And when I was able to, I spent all of my time around church. And so I think that and God looking out for me, and also the obstacles that I was facing, because when you live in one room You sleep in one bed with springs coming out of the mattress that cut you on your leg, and you're able to get up and go to class, go to school, and able to stay focused. And so that instills in you that there's nothing out there that's going to scare me. I've been through the tough part. You know, everything, when that restaurant burned down, I didn't want to give up because I've been through work. You know, I built the sucker from the ground up. See, so I knew what it took to get there. Now, if I had just skated through life, somebody had given me something, and I'd lived on the dark side, you know, then that would have been a different story. So that's, yes.
Yeah, I assume you're talking about Polk County, is it Arlington?
It's the only Arkansas I know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You still have friends over there?
I still live there.
Oh, you live there?
I live in Windsor Haven, which is right there, but I'm in the Armadale restaurant all the time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. Are you from that area?
I know the area, not from there, I know the area.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I apologize, me and my group had to leave early to get back to school. But I was wondering, may I have your business card, please?
Yes.
And also,
I like this young lady.
also, I'm starting a book club. It's for helping students who experience bullying. Last year I was bullied as well, so I'm trying to get back to the community as much as I can before I graduate. So I was wondering, will you be interested in helping me with it?
Well, let's talk about that and get to your school, visit, and then we'll kind of see where they go. Okay?
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I got a quick, easy question.
Sure.
I know you came from Kentucky, where I came from,
Ah,
and now you're down here in Florida.
right.
What brought you down here?
Business. Business opportunity. I'm going back tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay. Good deal, good deal.
This is just what I can put a statement. Actually, I've never been to this campus. I'm from downtown St. Petersburg. So one of the girls from there was over there passing out the little thing. He said, hey, come over, they're gonna have a speak here. I don't know what else. Like, I'm gonna check it out, just see, but I'm telling you, I am so grateful and so glad that I came. I truly enjoyed this, and I can't wait to get back.
Thank you.
And tell them what they missed out.
Well, it looks like we're wrapping up. I want you to know that I've really enjoyed it. Ernst invites me back again. I'll be glad to come back. If any of you in the other groups would like for me to come and speak, I don't charge anything. I enjoy doing this and giving back. I'd be glad to do it. So
Downtown.
Well, we truly appreciate you coming by. Are there any Max brothers in the room? This was done for Max. Please come on up. Let's take a picture with our model, George Tinsley. I want to, let's see, can I get somebody to take a picture for me?
Yeah. You want to hold that and point it towards the front?
Sure. You got some more cards?
Oh, I killed it.
Huh? Oh. No, you didn't. I'm sure
All right,
it's still
I'll put it
live.
right here.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
We got two gifts for you. One on this side, one on this side.
Oh, okay.
Tinsley, I don't even have a shirt like that. That is a very nice
Oh,
shirt.
yeah. I wear it with pride.
All right.
Yeah, I had one.
Here we go. Punch up a little bit here.
You want to come on the side?